It's weird telling you guys jokes that I heard at work because I don't know if you think that it's funny or not. I know you hit me up in the comments and you go, dude, you're killing me with that one. That one was good. I liked it. It was good. And then it makes me go, okay, good. At least 2 people out there got my stupid, dirty, or racist joke. So I heard a joke today. I'll tell it to you. It's real quick. Some guy comes up to me, which you hear jokes at work all the time. If you don't hear jokes at work, you're in the wrong work environment. Your job sucks. If you hear good, racist, dirty jokes at work, you know that you've landed a good job. You know that you've succeeded in life. So one of my coworkers comes up to me and he goes, what's good on a pizza that's not good on pussy? And I'm going, don't answer quick. You can get this. You've got pussy before. You love pizza. Figure it out. And I'm thinking, and I go, anchovies. And he goes, nah, crust. And I was like, fuck. He's right. Why didn't I think of crust? Nobody wants crust on a pussy. And then to you guys out there that didn't get the joke, you're going, I don't get it. Pussy doesn't have crust. Well, let me help you out with that one. Say you're tired, you want to go to bed. You're thinking about work. You got to get extra tired. You're not going to fall asleep. Your chick's laying there on your side, and you're like, come on, baby, just let me slip it in real quick because she's not going to come. This is strictly 100% for you. She's like, whatever, just hurry up. You lazy dogger. Fill her up like a gravy boat. And then you don't even pull out or nothing. You just done. Fall asleep. And then by some chance, you did something good that day. And then the piss gods smile upon you and wake you up at 3 a.m. and go, get up, motherfucker. You need to go piss. If you don't, you're going to piss that bed. And for some reason, they wake you up out of the deepest, nicest sleep you've ever been in. And then your legs are sore. You stumble across the room, bumping off the walls, make it to the pisser. And then you start pissing, you grab that crusty dick to shake it off, and you're like, ugh, what is that? Well, pussies aren't the only thing that have crust on them after sex. Sometimes, when you got a good woman, she'll get up after sex, she'll walk to the bathroom, wipe herself off, bring you a rag, and clean you up, for you don't have to have that crusty dick at 3 a.m. If you're not that lucky, which I'm usually not, the only way for payback on a situation like that is when she gets up after sex, pulls it out, rips it out like she's starting a fucking lawnmower, and ruins your chance of falling asleep the second you come. The only chance for comeback on this situation, not saying that I would ever do that in case he watches the video, is you grab her pillow, wait till she gets around the corner, and then you just completely wipe it off on that. Dick side down. You don't want to do it that dirty because she might roll over and then kiss you or something like that. Dick side down, put the pillow back. I guarantee you, fellas, after you do that, you will fall right to sleep and just wait for the piss gods to wake you up in the middle of the night. I haven't did a video in a while. That's because I haven't seen anything that I've been that excited to get. I still haven't found the Bane Deluxe figure or the Nectron or the Frankenstein for that matter. Those are 3 figures that I do want to get to add to my DC collection. As far as Marvel goes, just been a bunch of lame shit. Got some repainted shit that I shouldn't have got, and I looked at it and I was like, well, I kind of need the Blaze head for my Midnight Suns. I kind of want the Beast with the trench with the lab coat, even though I already have one, but this one's kind of cool, so maybe I'll go ahead and get that one too, even though I shouldn't. I kind of need a Sentron, even though I already have one, but it comes with the Void Head, and you justify your expense. And you're going, well, it could be worse. I could be a G.I. Joe collector, and you're going, fuck, I'm a G.I. Joe collector, what's the problem? G.I. Joe's killing it. G.I. Joe's getting ready to kill it. Could you imagine you're trying to get a job over there, you're like a G.I. Joe fan, you're like, oh fuck, I just landed a job at the G.I. Joe. This shit's gonna be great, making action figures that I love, and you walk in and you see your boss and she's some fat little cave troll with pink hair and she makes you introduce yourself with your fucking pronouns, and then you thought that you went to heaven, but you really went to hell. When you see shit like that, you're like, you know what? Maybe the Legend team's not that bad. Even though they make a bunch of repainted garbage sometimes. But they do hit home runs on occasion. They're just extremely overpriced. Now, I know a lot of the stuff that they got coming out, a lot of stuff that they showed, I'm actually really excited about. It's going to suck for the price, but luckily they do come in reusable boxes. I might actually reuse the box for the Sentry with some of those old Toy Biz shit. Enough of me rambling on. Let's check this shit out. All right, I'm just going to show you these real quick. There is a shit ton of comparisons that I want to pull out for this video. So we'll just take a quick look at it. Here's the Ghost Rider. You already have this figure. Hopefully you already have this figure. The one that you have is either going to be repainted blue, which is cool. You need in your collection. The other one has black pants. I looked at it. Ghost Rider had gray pants, Ghost Rider had black pants, and now I'm on the fence. Which one do I get rid of? Because I don't need both in my collection. I clearly just bought this for the really extremely cool bone hands and the Johnny Blaze head, which I thought you definitely, it's worth it. I know I'm not saying that this thing's worth 27 bucks, but it's kind of worth 27 bucks. You really have to have this head on a Ghost Rider, one of your Ghost Riders that you're going to add in your collection. If you decide to keep the gray pants or the black pants, that's totally up to you. Let's go ahead and convert him over real quick on camera. Hopefully I'll nail this. And, although I'm going to put him on the blue one, but fuck it. I already started. I'll go ahead and do that off camera. You got the hands, which the bone hands are fucking awesome. Except for I'm going to do the bone hands on a Ghost Rider, like the with the skull head and whatever. There's one fucking hand. I'm going to mix it up and show you how I'm going to display it. But the head on that, man, that turned out really good. I would have preferred a completely powered down, but this is a cool little touch. It is nice. It looks good. I'm glad that I got it. It comes with the same chain that you got. Actually, they added a little flame accessory. You've seen it before, but I'd rather have it than not have it. I will display that on the action figure. And then you have the Beast. He comes with the same shitty head that nobody liked the first time, but they felt the need to give it to you again. I don't know why, but they did. Then they give you the same beaker things that they gave you with the Lizard. Of course, they're going to reuse those as many times as possible, so that's just what they do. And then it comes with an extra set of hands. The head sculpt on this is by far my favorite. This is going to be my go-to Beast. I will pull out the other Beasts from my collection for we have something to compare to. He does have this little tiny robe that barely covers his nuts. The other one has a long robe. This robe reminds me of the time when my boy took me to Brazil. He took me to a whorehouse called Centaurus. You walk in, you pay the lady at the counter 15 bucks. She gives you a key for a locker, so you put all your shit in there. And she gives you this robe. And then you walk around this amazing facility and you pick anyone that you want. And then you give her your little bracelet and just welcome to paradise. When you walk out of that room and you look at your buddy when you're done high-fiving and you're on your way back to like the men's spa to like soak in the jacuzzi before you get ready for round 2. And you look over and your buddy looks at you and almost at the same time, you guys say to each other, you go, hey, did she stick her finger up your ass? And your buddy goes, yeah, fuck yeah, you too? Yeah. And then you're like, God, that is such a fluke thing. That is so weird. I wonder if that would happen again. So then you go back up to the counter, give her another 115 bucks, go back upstairs where all the girls are, and it happens again. And you're like, well, when in Rome. Except we weren't in Rome, we were in Brazil. I thought I was done with my stories, but I just found another one that I had to spit out there. I probably should have saved that one for the second of my next video, which who knows when that one's going to be. Here's the Sentry. Sorry, I keep screwing up the name. Here's your Sentry with the void head. I went ahead and customized him a little bit myself, but you know that I'm not the guy that does customizing. So I did an extremely shitty, lazy job, which I actually think looks pretty cool. I just turned his belt around backwards, hit this thing with like some blood red spray paint, some bright red spray paint and some black spray paint, and then I put one of those green pads and some paint thinner and just scraped it off. Tried to give him like kind of like a beat up dusty look, and then take the majority of the paint off to make him look more like the Void. And if you're going, who the fuck's the Void? Void is, say, Sentry. I don't like overpowered characters like Superman or Sentry or whatever that, because when they're overpowered, they're just kind of boring to me because they can beat up anybody and they're not real interesting. The cool thing about him is that he turns into the Void. Void is like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde for this motherfucker. So sometimes his powers freak out and he turns into this big giant red monster, which is weird because he really never really looks like this. Maybe when he's transforming like a transformer, like you know how these liberal parents do to their kids when they drop them off there when they're like 6 years old and get their tits or their dicks chopped off. This is what he's doing, except for he's not turning into a tranny. He's turning into this big giant red beast. So I went ahead and did this. I mean, you might think it looks like shit. I think it looks amazing. If you only have one Sentry, definitely don't do this. You need a couple. I'll show you how I'm going to display them. I have the old one. I have the new one. I got them displayed. I'll pull those out here in a minute. But here's mine. I actually think he looks pretty cool. When you look up the Void figure and you're like, who the fuck's a Void? And you'll see it and you're like, oh, okay, that kind of looks pretty cool. If you have the old one, because I actually have the old one, I think he looks better than this one. Let's do some comparisons. So these are the Ghost Riders that I pulled out for their comparison. And this is after I've cut back. It used to be way worse than this. And I do have a few other Ghost Rider figures that I can show you. So when you're trying to streamline, if you're trying to cut back, you're trying to see which ones you can and can't get rid of. So the new one that I just got, I went ahead and put him on the old movie motorcycle. You need him for a team. I'll show you where we're going to put him in a second. I went ahead and put the skull head on him. I was going to keep this one instead, but for a couple reasons I didn't. I couldn't get the hands off for some reason. I don't know if they come off or not. I felt like I was going to break them. I stopped tugging on them. And then when I looked at the new one, the neck is painted and the old one isn't. So I was going to get rid of them, and then I started going through the collection. I realized I'm just going to go ahead and keep both of those. I'm going to get rid of this one. Still trying to cut back a little bit. Get rid of this one. This is the one that was on this motorcycle, which is like what Ghost Rider's motorcycle is supposed to look like. Not this, but like this. So I'll get rid of him, take him out of the collection, and this is basically what my Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider collection is going to look like. Got him on the old movie motorcycle. I went ahead and switched the chain out on this one. This one actually has a little bit of paint work on it. The old one doesn't. Put the flame effects on it, put the bone hands on it. This one, you can see that the neck is painted, like the little bone neck. So I thought that was a plus. That was also a selling feature, not to mention I couldn't get the hands off. Put the chain, the flaming chain in there. Took this head, which this head is also really good. Got little pupils in there. Took this head off of this one. And then this one's going to go in my Midnight Sun collection, which that's a must, and kind of have that version of Ghost Rider, have the Johnny head on there instead. And then once again, this one on this old bike, and then you have this one. This was the variant, which don't really need this in my collection. He's not in a team or anything, but it's just such a nice piece. I hate to get rid of it. I do have that Mezco Ghost Rider on order. I know he said I was going to quit Mezco, but man, that motorcycle just looks amazing. So when they're sitting there thinking, what can we do for his 50th anniversary? Oh, I know. Let's give the fans something extremely overpriced that nobody's ever asked for, and we'll sit back and wonder why it failed. I do have some more Ghost Rider stuff, so I'll kind of take you around and show you those here in a minute. Now I'm going to show you why you need to have so many Ghost Riders in your Ghost Rider collection. This is the Ghost Rider that I picked for my champion team. Let me see if I can kind of get a little bit better angle. I guess that kind of works. So I went ahead and used the all black Ghost Rider, put him on that motorcycle. That completes the champion team exactly how it's supposed to be. That's the right motorcycle for that team. And then you need another Ghost Rider for your Thunderbolts team, which I wish that they would make him with like the red spider on his chest instead of the white one, and that would just make that team a little look a little bit better. I need to get another new Electra too. I went ahead and put the old shitty one in that because I have the other Electra in another team. Let me show you where else you're gonna need some Ghost Riders. I put this one with the Johnny Blaze head on in the Midnight Sun team. So you kind of need quite a few Ghost Riders if you're gonna round these teams out. And if you're sitting there going, wow, there's a lot of really cool Ghost Rider stuff, I can't imagine why they would think to do the car. For one, that stupid car should have never been a HasLab. This is a HasLab project right here. Something too big for stores, too expensive for stores. This is a HasLab, not a shitty car. There's no reason why they couldn't have just put that car out at Target or Amazon or wherever the fuck they wanted to put it. Horrible idea. That's once again them thinking that they know better than the fans. Apparently they don't. If they were going to do something cool for the 50th anniversary of Ghost Rider, like, come on, guys. I know Jesse's a liberal bitch, but he used to come up with some pretty cool shit back in the day. If you would have redid these, not as a HasLab, just as a 50th anniversary, could you imagine if they redid all of these brand new in 6-inch form? That would have been amazing. If you guys like these, I'm probably going to put them on Macari sometime this weekend and get rid of them. Just going to get rid of all my 5-inch stuff. Got to clear up some space, reduce the collection. The more I get rid of, the more I like the stuff that I keep. Let's check out that beast. We have the beast comparisons. I do have the old school one with the lab coat on, which I do really like that. I just don't like the chunky articulation because I'm not real big on articulation anyways. And when you can see that much articulation, it kind of makes it not that cool. This one, the jaw does move. I do love the head sculpt on this. I had the regular one without the trench coat. I sold that. I'm probably going to go ahead and get rid of this one too. Once again, probably put it on Macari this weekend. I like it. I just don't like the chunky articulation. I like the size of it. I think that he's amazing, but I mean, every time I add a figure to my collection, I try to get rid of a figure. I don't want it to get bigger. I want it to get smaller, so I kind of have to do that. Here's a first one that they did with a head sculpt that looks like shit, which they thought that they needed to do it twice for some reason. Same head sculpt that nobody liked. They give it to us again. This one, they don't paint the claws. It bothered me then. It really bothers me now, considering that they painted the claws on all these other ones. And it just really makes that thing look like shit. Maybe my boy Brock will hook that up and paint the claws on that. If they painted the claws on that, then that one would actually look pretty cool. Then you have the gray beast. And I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of that, but it's beast and everybody loves the beast. So as far as how many beasts that you need in your collection, let me go ahead and put him up here in my X-Men team real quick. He's just right here. I'm right here, guys. I didn't go anywhere. Right here. So as far as your beasts, you're wondering how many beasts you need in your beast collection. You need them for your X-Men team. You got your gold and your blue team right there. So you need one for that. And then hopefully you were fortunate enough for collecting back in the day for you could get that beast for that X-Men team. I kind of wish, I don't know, he looks good. It would be kind of cool if they redid him just a little bit bigger. He's kind of small. But you need that beast. And then of course you need this beast for that X-Men team. And then coming down around here, you do have, which I also got rid of a few beasts. I had a few more. These are just the ones that I was having a hard time getting rid of. You have that beast with the laptop that comes out of his chest, the missile backpack. I don't know what costume that goes to. I just thought it was a really cool figure and I just cannot part from it. And then you have the beast for the Secret Avenger team. Try and get his costume. I don't know if that's the right costume for that team or not, but it kind of works. I know that he has that weird cat face when he's in that team, so maybe that is what they were thinking when they went ahead and made that beast. And then you come around here one more beast to go. You have the Age of Apocalypse beast. So there's all the beasts. I know it's nice to like get your collection down to like one of each character, but sometimes that's just not an option. All right, so when they announced they were making a new Sentry figure with the Void Head, I was actually kind of excited. I was like, yeah, it's a character that I already have a lot of, but I did kind of feel like I needed a new one. For one, it came with this head, like this head came with this, and you get the Void Head, which I thought was a really cool option because on this figure, he came with this Thor head, and I always thought that that was just really shitty and sucked and didn't look like Sentry, so that was horrible. So you get the opportunity to take the Thor head off of this body, which this is still by far my favorite Sentry action figure. Get that shitty head off, take the head that came with this, put it on this, and now you have a really good buff Sentry. The downside to when they upgrade and they give you a new figure, when they put it on an old body mold with pins in it, it doesn't really feel like an upgrade. It just feels like a cheap rip-off. I would have rather waited till where they could do a pinless body like this and then redo it, and then that would just make for something a lot cooler. I like the old one. I like the new belt. This is by far my favorite. I love this action figure now that I could actually put a really cool Sentry head on it. Get the old shitty Thor head off of it. These are the old Toy Biz ones. They made 4 of these. They made these two in the bright yellow like this with the beard and no beard. I already sold those on Macari. I'll probably give them one of these back, you know, in that reusable box, and then sell the other one on Macari. Let me go ahead and put these teams. I'm going to show you why you need 2 of these. All right, so this is why you need 2 Sentries. You can put one in your new Avengers team. Hopefully you have that Ronin. I had a couple extra. I already sold those. Sorry about that. But you need that Ronin figure. Maybe they'll redo him. He's a little small in that lineup. But you need your Sentry for that. And then you need your second one for your Dark Avengers team. Best I can do. Hopefully the Marvel boy that they're making will be in the right costume for this team. And hopefully they do a new Captain Marvel in the right costume, like the blue and red and gold one, not the black and gold one. Best I could do to complete this team. Everybody else is like totally correct. Man, that is cool. This is how the new display is coming. I was gonna save it for another video, but just a little sneak peek, which I got a lot more to go. This is kind of like the space side, Galactus down there. Fantastic Four villains, Fantastic Four friends. Coming down here, Guardians of the Galaxy team, First Avengers team, Young Avengers team, New Avengers, another Avengers team, Savage Avengers team, Dark Avengers. What was that? Ultimate Avengers, I can't really remember. Secret Avengers, all new, all gay, all different Avenger team, West Coast Avenger team, and I think what is that? Ultimate Avengers team? I think that's the cap that they're trying to redo, but that is the cap that they're redoing right there. You know that new cap figure that they're making? It's a redo of this one. You see like the gray in his armpit? That's kind of what they're doing. So that cap will be a replacement for this cap, but then you need that cap for that team. So it's crazy when they make all these shitty figures and you're going, God, why are they making all these? Sometimes it actually seems like they have a plan. More on my collection. You got Captain America villains up here. Hydra shoulders, AIM shoulders. Kind of goes into Iron Man villains over here. Thor villains over here. And then coming down here, you have just some random kind of Avenger characters. The Thor characters. The Captain Americas. The Iron Mans. And I already showed you the teams. Think we're good enough. Let's go, Brandon.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.